Singapore International Festival of Arts, or SIFA as we fondly call it, for 2014 has been completely reconceived and revamped with a practicing artist at the helm as a festival director for the first time. And this festival director is of course none other than Mr. Ong Kim Sen. And what you can expect from this festival is something that is, well, I feel, and being a person that has followed many of the Singapore arts festivals in the past, very, very different one because of its energies towards engagement of the public into its programs in a multitude of different ways. The other thing that is very different about this year's SIFA was that because at the helm is a practicing artist, his vision is very complete, and the energy behind his vision is the energy of an artist fulfilling that vision. I think that by itself is very, very different.
Because he's got the pulse, right?
He's got the pulse, and he's got all successful artists have a point of view that is strong, you know, and he is an extremely successful artist, and his point of view about life, about everything that is going on around him is so strong, and he puts that energy into a vision. And the Singapore International Festival of Arts is the platform from which you can see a lot of that point of view coming out in his curation of the programs.
Because you say that the artist has got a very big point of view, and he has obviously a pulse and what's happening in Singapore.
Yeah.
In my opinion, arts is a reflection of life.
Yes.
Right? So what is it about life in Singapore or life as an artist will we see in this curation?
You know, I can only give you my point of view, okay? Because I do not want to speak for him, and I will have to qualify that I'm not speaking for him. But as
Your point of view.
yes, my point of view about his vision is that, first of all, the theme of SIFA 2014 is Legacy and the Expanded Classics. And basically what it is, it's about asking ourselves what are the footprints that we have taken that has brought us here. How do these footprints propel us into the future, you know? And in his curation of the programs, you will see that many of his questions about the footprints that we have taken or left behind are imbibed into his programming. I'll give you an example. There is in the open, there is a photographic exhibition, and is by a South African photographer and activist called Zanali Maholi, and it is about the violence that we see in South Africa and of course, you know, in the world. In his curation of a program like that, he brings about these issues that he would like people to think about, you know, and how do these legacies affect us.
Now the festival has been ongoing for a while, 37 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of took a short break.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why it took the short break, what happened during the break, and what is your opinion about it?
I think that the break was wonderful. We call it, you know, the hiatus because
The
it was so
hiatus.
shocking, right? It was very brave. It was a very brave and courageous step on the part of the National Arts Council of Singapore, who used to run this festival. It was brave because I think change is something that is a very evolved state of mind. To welcome change, to put a stop to something, not because you thought it was bad, but just because you thought that, okay, it's time for something different. How about we do something in a different way? How about we think about something differently? And I think those are all very, very courageous things for the premier performance arts event in Singapore. So when this hiatus came about, everybody waited with bated breath. Okay, what's going to happen? What's happening and what's going to happen? Now, that state of flux, anybody will tell you, is a very important state of flux for human beings, because it gives you the opportunity to refigure something else.
To think.
To think. to refigure something else. What is it? What is it about? And then when it came back, and we were told that it's going to be a new privatized company, and that it would have King Sen as the festival director. The festival has started, but it is too early to really tell what is the ultimate, sort of like feeling about the revamp. I don't want to use the words that people commonly use, which is like, oh, success or fail. All I can tell you is that it is hugely different. It is a completely different energy at all levels. And I would say that in itself is reason enough to kind of get engaged and watch it and decide for yourself what it's all about. How is it different?
There is a component in the festival called the Open.
That's right.
It is going to be done for the first time.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's the festival's new approach to public engagement in
That's
the
right.
arts.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about that. Public engagement in the arts. You're going to get the audience to act with you.
The festival, as I've told you, has many themes. And themes sometimes need different entry points to understand, because everybody is different. And I think here is where public engagement comes into play.
Do you think people are going to be responsive towards that?
I have already seen it with my own eyes, because well, you didn't see the trailer, but I guess it's inside that little thumb drive I think that we have, that's in the press kit. One of the programs in the Open, which stands for Open, Participate, Enrich and Negotiate.
OPEN.
Yes, all the energies that we are hoping to bring about with the Open. One of the programs is called Ways of Wandering, and it's conceived by Nolina Mohammed, and it's a public performance by 150 Singaporeans from all walks of life. They were not chosen. They were given an opportunity to come and experience theatre workshops that they will experience if they took part. And if they wanted to take part, and if they could commit to the rehearsal process, they were in. So that's why we've got, I think it's 170, and the youngest one is like 17 years old, the oldest one is 76, and they have already, they have already started to come for some of these programs that are leading, up to the Open, where we expose them to many different types of art experiences, and they will then go through a workshop period with 5 different artist mentors in 5 different fields, and together they will create a public performance that will be held for free in 2 heritage parks in Singapore, Tiong Bahru Park and MacRitchie Reservoir, for free for everyone to see. And this engagement is free to join, free to watch. You just have to commit to the time.
Wow.
We don't know what is going to happen, but let us create it together.
How are you working towards making sure towards making sure that a program like OPEN is a success? What is your role?
I think that to me, my markers of success are such that it already is a success.
For the fact that people want to participate.
My God, like 275 people came. And then every time I see them coming for one of these events that we plan, they come 76 years old, retired, and then like sometimes when I ask her, what made you want to, take part in this? She said, actually I've always wanted to take part in it, but it's just that I was having a full-time job and I never could take part in it, and now I'm retired and now I can take part. She comes for everything. She comes for talks, she comes for workshops. 76 years old, we bring her to the park. We ask her to sit on the floor, she sits on the floor, she rolls around. I think it's already successful. I'm sorry, it's already successful. And I challenge everybody to change their markers of success. Because really, public engagement is at your own level. At your own level. That's right,
As an artist, how do you differentiate yourself when you take on roles for film and for theatre? Do you have a preference? And if you don't, why?
I do have a preference. My preference is for good projects. Very simple, my preference. Good roles and good projects. I don't care what medium it is.
Because
It could
I've seen you in Cages, I've seen you in Blue Mansion,
Yeah.
and for the longest time you were on Portugal.
That's right.
In a very comedic role.
That's right.
So your genres have also been very different.
Yes. I've
is
done
there-
musicals.
You've done
Yeah,
musicals.
yeah.
Is there one that you prefer
No.
over the other?
No, it really is that. The truth is that my preference is for good projects and good, good roles, good projects, good people to work with. That's my preference as opposed to the medium with which I work. Yeah. Hi, I'm Kheng Hua and you are listening to AFO.